Hey, you guys. I hope that today has treated you well. I hope that last week was good and the weekend. I am in crunch time as it relates to end of year activities for clients, but I'm also preparing for 2021, preparing for first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter, because basically this year is over. And so I entitled this Growth Hacks to make sure that your business is prepared for growth and that you always have a position to do that. I'm just looking at my phone to make sure that I'm live there. Okay. So, about being prepared and positioned for growth. So, prior to starting the Power Network, I spent almost 2 decades in sales and marketing. And as a high end sales and marketing professional, it's a production based business, meaning you're only as good as your last sale. You get ridiculous quota at the beginning of the year. I'm talking millions upon millions upon millions upon millions of dollars, and are expected to attain double digit growth by the end of the year. And, when in the midst of doing it, and I was very successful in that, I did not realize that it was preparation for my life as an entrepreneur. And I realized that this is a skill set that a lot of entrepreneurs don't have because they lack the experience that I have. So I'm super thankful for it, but I'm also thankful to be able to share it with you guys. And so I hope that you've got notebooks out. If you don't have notebooks, open your notes on your phone. If you don't do that, come back and watch the replay later because this is super important. Also, another thing you can do, I've got a brand builder masterclass coming up next month, which is $75. It's a 2 hour masterclass, and I'm going to be dropping all types of gems to prepare you for next year. And so this is not something that you want to miss. Normally it's $99 for the class. It's virtual. You can take it from anywhere in the country. So highly recommend that because so many individuals want to be coached or they want to have strategy sessions, and it's not necessarily in the budget to pay $700 for a few hours with me. So this is a way to do a group coaching session where you can do it for just $75, or you can gift it to someone, and you can go to powernetwork.org, sign up. Also, I've got my $99 hour power special going. I can't change your life in an hour, but I will say over 90% of the people who spend that hour with me usually end up contracting more time with me because it is a great way to get started on different things that you're aspiring to do. I've had clients come out of that and finish their book, launch their business, get their LLC, get their nonprofit status. I mean, the list just goes on and on. Get the promotion, so it can be around career coaching. And so there's so many different things you can do. Hey, Dr. Katina. So let's get into these growth hacks. So one of the things that I was required to do in corporate America that I continue to do in my entrepreneurial life was to make sure I had a sales funnel. And so what's a sales funnel? A sales funnel is a forecast of what it is that you think you're going to sell and who it is that you think you're going to sell it to. And so you have this book of business. Sometimes in some jobs, you're blessed enough for that book of business to be assigned to you. But if you're in true business development, you are giving a territory. It could be based on geography. It could be based on type of business. So it could be based on insurance. It could be based on the medical field. It could be based on sports. It could be based on anything. And your job is to, I mean, back in the day, it used to be like the funnel through the phone book. Now, they've got Salesforce and they've got all these other customer relationship management tools that make life a little easier. But regardless, I mean, you're thinking about cold calling. And so for so many entrepreneurs, especially when you have something like what's happened in 2020. And so despite the pandemic, most entrepreneurs that I've talked to have garnered more success this year than they have in any other year, because it is in times like this. It's in times of trouble. It's in times of turmoil. It's in times of uncertainty that people are willing to use their discretionary income to pay for answers. People are looking for content. People are paying more attention to what it is that you're doing, but they're also paying more attention to the possibilities of what they could do. And so many people have just had amazing growth and opportunities that they would have never expected. If somebody out there is watching and that has been your experience this year, give me like a high five, a heads up, go girl, go boy. Like that's what's up. I definitely can say that the Power Network, I surpassed, and I had a very lucrative corporate career. I surpassed my earnings in my corporate career this year in the midst of a pandemic, working from home a majority of the time with being sick, having a sick husband, having sick kids, virtual schooling, and all kinds of other things happening. Despite that, business has been steady. And I will say one of the keys to it is the constant paying attention of the funnel. So let's break down how this funnel works and the way that I was taught. There's a lot of different ways to do it. You can Google it, but I was taught how to build a sales funnel by AT&T, the seventh largest corporation in the world, and been around since Alexander Graham Bell invented the telephone. So I think that they're pretty good at doing what they do. They're definitely not the cheapest. You know, you can definitely go somewhere and find a less expensive telecommunications, internet, television streaming provider. However, what they do well is they do well at marketing, they do well at branding, they do well at consistency. Like you don't have to worry about are they going anywhere. And so those things build trust. And you know, it's certain things, Coca-Cola, Levi, AT&T, they're just not going anywhere because a lot of us look through this microcosm of things that are happening in the United States. But those brands that I just mentioned specifically are global brands. When SBC, Southwestern Bell, actually purchased AT&T, which very few people understand that that's how the merger and acquisition happened. They kept the AT&T name because from a global perspective, more people knew that name than would ever know SBC. And so although SBC purchased AT&T, they kept the AT&T name because of the trust factor that came with it. So I love that, Katina. Love that. Hey, Markeisha. So thinking about this funnel. So what I was taught as a young sales professional that I continue to do now as an old sales professional, and entrepreneurs, don't get it twisted. You are your sales force. You are the face of your company. You have to be out here. You can't be so busy working in the business that you forget to work on the business. You have to constantly be developing relationships. You have to constantly be developing your messaging, constantly be developing your brand, constantly working on outdoing yourself and figuring out new, innovative, creative ways. One of the things that I've noticed, so many people just jump on the trends. And if you jump on what's trending right now, then what makes you unique? What sets you apart from what everyone else is doing? So stick to what it is that you do well. Sorry, something was in my throat. Stick to what it is that you do well and that you do differently than anyone else, and double down on that because no one is you, and that's your superpower. Excuse me. Now back to the funnels. So with the funnel, I was taught to do it as a 30, a 60, and a 90-day funnel. So that means that I have a whiteboard. It's to my right, and it has my 30-day funnel on it. It has everything that I expect to close, and that is a priority to be worked on this month. So that means that from the moment that November started, every single day when I wake up, I'm looking at that funnel. And I'm looking at the daily revenue that I want to make and the monthly revenue that I need to make in order for my business to stay viable and for my bills to get paid and for me to be successful and hit my end of year number. And I'm looking at that every day and I'm working towards closing those deals. And a lot of times we don't close deals because we don't ask. We don't ask for the business. So it can be as easy as a follow-up. It can be as easy as hey, just checking in. I know we talked about this. It can be as easy as, would you like me to send you the invoice so I can get you on the schedule? And for some individuals, that sounds, oh my God, that's pushy. Oh my God. It's not, you've already had the conversation, hopefully. You've already discussed what the benefits are to doing business with you. You've already uncovered the need that the client has, and you've already overcome the need behind the need. These are old school sales terms about understanding the need behind the need, understanding the pain points that the client may or may not have, and how you are the solution to their problem, and how you can solve it, and how you can make their life easier. You have to figure out a way that, from the client's perspective, they cannot imagine completing the project. They could not imagine moving forward. They could not imagine and I shouldn't say that. They definitely can do it without your expertise. But if you position yourself well enough, they won't necessarily want to, because they will see the value in what you bring to the table. So that is that 30-day funnel. That 30-day funnel, that's like the guarantee. That's not the pie in the sky stuff, because nothing's closed till it's closed. Until I got a paid invoice, until I have a signed contract, because even with if you didn't pay, even with a signed contract, so until I have a paid invoice, then it's not done. And so those are other questions you need to ask. You need to understand the client's timing. A lot of times, it's not that you've lost the opportunity, or it's not that they're not going to do business with you, but people like to shop. People like to budget. People like to understand what it's going to take and when they can afford it. I'm going to launch a client at the end of this month. This client and she's probably booked a 1-hour power session with me 3 years in a row. And finally, she bought a full launch package, and we're going to launch her we're going to launch her on Black Friday. And so it's about planting that seed. It's about planting that seed. So now she moved to the 30-day funnel, because now it's about to be done. So that's the 30-day funnel. Next, the 60-day funnel. So here's the other thing too. Your 30-day funnel should encompass the money you need to make in the 30 days. The 60-day funnel and the opportunities you need to close. 60-day funnel should have double, because of the things that you have in the 60-day funnel, only half of them may close in the 60 days and actually make it to the 30-day funnel. And so you should never be only having just enough in your funnel. You should be having an overflow. And so that goes back to constantly developing the business. And developing the business is not just posting on social media. It's actually, there is a science to selling. And there is and I don't even want to use the word selling. There's a science to consulting. You don't want to desensitize your audience. And if you've been in my Brand Builder Bootcamp, you know I'm really passionate about this. 80-20 rule. 80% value-added information, 20% selling. Because you don't want every time someone looks at you. Now, there's some exceptions to the rule. There's some people who own clothing boutiques, who sell hair, who sell makeup, who sell earrings. You should be putting your products out there. I mean, what value, that's what you should be doing. However, because the services industry is actually outpacing those who provide a product from a social media perspective, for those of you watching who provide a service, which it is just growing by leaps and bounds, coaches, strategists, consultants, therapists, publishers, writing coaches, relationship experts, the list goes on and on and on and on and on. Because those things are so subjective, and they really do depend on people wanting to spend their discretionary money in order to do it, you have to figure out a way to consult and to become a trusted advisor. That is like the pinnacle that every business development, salesperson, and entrepreneur should aspire to. You should be a trusted advisor to your clients. And even if they are not a client yet, the people who you interact with that you know could potentially be a client, you should be building, knowing, and sharing. Not used car selling, but sharing your gifts and your intellect and your expertise in a way that you are a person that people call. I mean, most people know this that really know me. One of my goals in life is to be on the Forbes Super Connector list, because I realize that when someone when they are on my roster as a client, I am constantly positioning people on my roster or not on how to make money. If you provide a great service and I believe in what you do, and I believe that you're ready, then I'm going to be pitching. I'm going to be pitching you. Now I can't say that you're always going to get it, and you may never know that I pitched you. However, I'm pitching. I'm pitching. I'm out here advocating and being a little mini evangelist for the people who that I see greatness in, and that's really critical. And one of the things that I know that it works is that when I look at all the cross pollination, I have friends all over the country, and so many of you watching now are probably friends with my mentors, my friends, my coaches, my clients, because I went and advocated for them and said, hey, this is somebody you should follow. Hey, this is somebody with good advice. Hey, this is a group that's going to benefit you. And so in sharing that information, so many of us we keep that really close to our chest. It's like we don't want to share. But at the end of the day, what you get from it and what I get from it are two different things. And because these are people that I care about, and because these are people that I trust, and because these are people that I care about their success, then why would I not want to connect them with as many people as possible? So that 60-day funnel, again, bringing it back, should have double of whatever you need in a month in order to meet your revenue goals. And look, we're going to backtrack this whole thing. If you don't have revenue goals, if you have not sat down and figured out how much money you need and want to make in 2021, not just to meet your basic needs, but also to figure out how to live the life you want, then you really need to sign up for my brand builder masterclass that's happening in December. Look, let me get the right date up, because you run out of time, boo. Like it's on December 10th from 5:30 to 7:30, because we got to get it together. We cannot. One of the things that drives me the craziest is when I ask a client, like, what's your budget? And they're like, I don't know. What do you mean you don't know? I mean, we just out here blowing bags? Like, what are we doing? Like, that's not smart business. That's not how you accumulate wealth. That's not how you grow something sustainable. You absolutely, positively need a plan and a budget. Every single person watching this, I'm sure, has worked for someone. Even if you worked for McDonald's. I remember being a teenager working in fast food, and I worked for Rallies, aka Checkers. And I remember that if we made a burger wrong, or if we made a extra order of fries, it had to go in this bucket as waste. And the managers had to account for that, because every French fry, every burger patty, every bun, every slice of cheese was built into the budget, and it was built into the cost of goods sold for that business. And so if you care about someone else's business and someone else's money, and they rich, then why don't you care about your own money like that? Why are you not taking time to understand and know your own numbers in that way? And why don't you, like, I remember that. I was 16 years old, and that has not left me. So that's that 60-day funnel. Now let's talk about the 90-day funnel. 90-day funnel. 90-day funnel, 3 times what you need to make in a given month. Now, some of the 90-day funnel stuff be a pie in the sky. Like, you be like, hope, like when that 90-day funnel, when some in the 90-day funnel close earlier than the 90 days you forecasted it. And let me just digress and say, this was not a game. I had to sit in front of senior vice presidents. I had to sit in front of CEOs. I had to sit in front of people who earned millions of dollars, because I was accountable for a huge share of our profits that the particular company I worked for made in a given year. So that being said, my forecasting had to be on point. So when you're sitting down creating your funnel and you're sitting down forecasting what it is that you're going to close and what business you're going to go after, be honest with yourself. So, like, don't fake it till you make it. Like, face it till you make it. Like, be honest with yourself. And if the funnel is empty, then you need to sit back and formulate a plan on how you build it up. What is missing? Why don't you have clients in the funnel? Why don't people want to do business with you? Why are you just barely making it? Why are you even in business outside of just working a job to just barely make it? If I couldn't afford to pay me the same thing that corporate America can afford to pay me, I'm going to go get a job. Like, can you afford to hire you? That's another one of my favorite phrases. If you've been around for a minute, ask yourself, can I afford to hire me? And if I can't afford to hire me, then it makes no sense for me to work for myself. Because working for myself, I'm the salesperson, I'm the janitor, I'm the marketer, I'm the candlestick maker, the baker, so it's just like, no, it has to be worth it. And for so many, they think, oh, it's just going to give me freedom and I just want to have my own hours. I want to, guess what? We all work for someone. I work for my clients. Now, I work with them. They're not the boss of me, but I do work for my clients. And so it's so critical that you are honest with yourself about yourself, that you're disciplined and that you're focused and that you understand your numbers and that you build a funnel. That is the growth hack that I wanted to share. 30-day, 60-day, 90-day funnel. And then even I would say 120-day funnel is critical. And I know that sounds like way out, but what happens, what I see is I see individuals have this windfall, like they'll get this huge contract. Huge, like let's take, you'll get a huge catering job or a graphic designer. They'll get this huge contract and then they'll pour all of their energy into that contract. And so that contract is, let's say 30 days or 60 days and it's paying them. And they're like, oh my gosh, they taking their kids to Disney. They shopping, they out here, they feeling successful, haven't saved a dime and are so busy working in the business that they've forgotten to work on the business. And then that project and that contract comes to the end and then they're back at zero. You can never allow yourself to get back at zero as a business owner. That is not allowed, because when you get back at zero, how are you going to pay your bills? How are you going to clothe your children? How are you going to clothe yourself? How are you going to pay for this amazing internet that I'm talking to you on right now? like the thing is that for most of us, especially in the services building business, you are selling success. You only can sell success if you're successful. And I know some fugazi people out here that's not successful selling fake success. But success is subjective and it's objective and everybody's view of success is different. But I will tell you, for those of us who have attained any level of success, we can see through it. And we all have to start somewhere. So that's not shade. That's not, we all have to start somewhere. I guess, I just do get frustrated when people tell you they're going to help you build wealth or they're going to give you a millionaire mindset and they've never made $1 million and they have no wealth. And so that's incumbent upon you as the person hiring. And then also for those of us that worked really hard to gain our education, to learn our trade and continue to hone our trade, it's a little insulting. But anyway, that was for free. So think about the growth hacks, make a funnel, register for Brand Builder Masterclass, tell everybody about it. It's always the best way to end the year. The last class of the year, I'm always on fire because I'm getting you ready for next year. If you can't do the class, but you just want an hour to talk strategic planning and help with some goal settings, I've got the $99 special. You can cash app to #PowHER for that. And if you decide to do none of it, go back and watch some of the PowHER Talks that I've done this year and hopefully learn something. One thing that people know about me, I'm not out here hustling. I don't believe in hustling. This is a true business for me. I believe in consulting. I believe in relationship building, and I believe in helping people. And so that's what I'm here to do each and every day, which is why I go live, which is why I share free information, because at the end of the day, it's about legacy for me. And at the end of the day, I just want everybody to be good. So you guys have a great evening. And I hope this helped you. If it did, share it, like it, follow the PowHER Network page if you're watching this from my personal page. Follow the YouTube page because this video will upload there as well. And yeah, that's it. 2021 is just a few weeks away. If you haven't started planning, then you're behind. So get it together. All right, y'all. Peace, love, power. I'm out.